But there's a bit of a challenge there already because milkshake is milk.
Yeah, it's a milkshake. Huh? Yeah,
Yeah.
and then go to the non-milkshake. Yeah, that's something. Yeah. Welcome to Unknown Stories Corporate Venturing Sessions with me, Willem Knaap, and today my host is Jeroen Dekkers from McDonald's. We'll be talking about innovation with him. Jeroen, thank you for being here. Thank you so much. So first of all, maybe it's good to give an introduction. You're head of supply chain at McDonald's, but what do you do? What are your responsibilities?
Yeah, of course. Well, together with my team, I have a bit of a dual role. Most importantly, I'm servicing the Dutch and the Belgian market on supply chain, and within McDonald's that consists of 4 areas. One of them is procurement, particularly food and packaging. The other one is logistics, and we have quality assurance and sustainability. So those are the 4 areas. And on top of the daily market responsibility, I'm also part of a global team. And with all the supply chain leads from McDonald's worldwide, we jointly create the vision on these 4 topics that I just mentioned. Well, in essence, supply chain for McDonald's is about cooperation. So we talk about the 3-legged stool. And that means that's actually, you can envision a stool. One of the legs is McDonald's, one of the legs is our suppliers, and one of the legs is our franchisees. And sitting on this chair is our guest or our consumer.
Like me.
Like you, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm also a customer, I can honestly say. Yeah.
But we build relationships with all 3. So in this case, I think it's most relevant to talk about the stool or the leg of the suppliers. Because my job is supply chain. So we have a prolonged relationship with basically all of our suppliers. So we don't have annual contract negotiations. We don't have any contracts at all with our suppliers. I think that's the essence. It's about trust, and it's about really collaborating on jointly defined challenges. So to give you an example, if we talk about packaging, that's a very actual challenge that we face. It can be about deposit money. It can be about the transition from plastic packaging into paper packaging. Yeah. We reach out to the markets around us. So all markets in Europe and all over the world have this challenge more or less the same way. And we reach out to our suppliers and engage in a discussion with them. How do you think we can solve this? So this is really about cooperation and jointly finding a solution for the challenge that we have at hand.
Is there a role for, because of the scale could be a problem, you have a really long relationship with your suppliers. So is there a role for newcomers, for new innovative companies that come to the market, whether they have like a plant-based meat solution or a paper straw solution or a packaging solution, wherever they are, or maybe even logistics solution?
Yeah.
Is there a route to McDonald's for them or not?
Yeah.
And if so, what's the route in your opinion?
Very good question. In all honesty, we're struggling with that because we see, what I told before, the scale is our biggest advantage. And when it comes to finding new innovative concepts and applying them in our business, it's a disadvantage because we set our standards really high. So getting into the McDonald's system is really tough. We see that. And it can be a disadvantage if we don't find a way to get access to these great innovations that are out there. The first direction that we're looking into right now is playing it through our suppliers that we already have. So you just mentioned logistics. We have a logistics supplier, very reliable logistics partner, but how do we get innovation in? And that's often not coming from our current partner. And that sounds a bit strange, but they're quite happy. They deliver big volumes. It's gradual change. And sometimes we need game changers as well. And can we expect that from a supplier who's actually pretty happy with the relationship that we have right now? So getting some other solutions in is we play it now through our current suppliers. So back to the logistics part, it starts with our vision that we say it becomes increasingly difficult to deliver our inner cities with goods.
So the vision comes then from the international team of supply chain leads.
Yeah. We say we have a number of challenges. One of them is labor. Everyone will recognize that. We see legislation of inner cities. So zero emission zones. You're not allowed anymore with heavy vehicles.
The famous last mile solutions, etc.
So we need to find solutions there, and these are global challenges, not particular for McDonald's, but for inner cities. It's a societal challenge that's coming up and not always as visible. So we say we have to find who can help us out, and then we use funnels. We say we have these 50 different solutions from all over the world. And we're going to start to work on 5 solutions. Well, the good thing is that in the Netherlands, we have some of these solutions that we're testing already. So in this case, the last mile solution, we're looking into an opportunity to use decentralized distribution centers. But this is a partner that is not directly linked to McDonald's. They go through our current logistics supplier. So does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yes. So to understand, McDonald's here has a logistics partner,
correct,
which you probably have for 25 plus years already.
Yeah.
Yep. I can imagine. It's an incumbent also, just like McDonald's. They exist. They're there. They have business, etc. But McDonald's, you in this case, ask them to develop, to innovate themselves, to help McDonald's innovate in the logistics part. So, but to make that easy, you ask of them to innovate together with a partner,
correct,
or a possible partner that's an innovative company in a last mile solution space. That then, let me go back, comes out of the vision of the global supply chain team, but also were found by you. Then, in this case, you found that solution. So you talk to that solution, then to your logistics partner, and then you let them, the last mile solution, work with the logistics partner to prove, to validate, to see how this works. And then the logistics partner, and then that's my question, has to, in the end, scale it up also.
Correct. Yeah.
So how would that, the validation part I see, it's a bit, I don't know which model you use, but let's say plan, do, check, act. So you ask of them to do the plan, do, check in that part.
In a relatively safe environment that's not immediately implemented at McDonald's.
And not globally. It's easy. So to do that, plan, do, check, what's happening there, measuring, validating, figuring it out. But then you have to come to act, to really change that part towards McDonald's and then also global. So how does that? How would that step work? Can you tell a bit about that? Because that's the skill of McDonald's. That's the hard part, I believe.
Well, you just mentioned that. I mean, with plan, do, check, act. These cycles, we try to run them as frequently as possible, and so it's more and more shifting towards the rapid prototyping. So we start off with something without knowing exactly where it will end up. We have trust that this can be a good solution. We don't know for sure yet. So then we start testing on a small scale, relatively low risk, low cost. And then we go, and I'm telling you, a low cost, low risk. We're still talking about big numbers here. So in this city hub logistics that we're testing, we're not talking about €1,000, but it's significant.
Serious numbers.
Because we have to buy a truck and we have to build a new warehouse with all the refrigeration and all the HACCP controls, etc. So it's still pretty big.
Who decides to do that to free up the budget?
We always do this together. So in this case, there's we have our logistics partners in, McDonald's is in, and the innovative partner is in with the idea.
So you have in essence, you have it's really a supply chain, also a value chain approach, and you create an alliance in this essence.
And we do this in all transparency. So say, like, what are the risks? What are the investments required? Work in scenarios. Say, like, let's assume this doesn't end up the right way. Who will bear the cost? Say, like, okay, let's have a good conversation about it. If we stop this pilot, it can be the case that the innovative partner pays everything. It can also not be the case that McDonald's pays everything. So let's discuss. And the other scenarios, obviously, if imagine this is really successful. How are we going to scale up? And what should be your role as an innovative partner? Do you want to play a role globally, or do you want to play And early on in this process, we have this discussion already with our supplier. Look at it from a broader picture. If you only stay with your own idea, it's gonna be tough to get in contact with big corporates like McDonald's.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It makes sense. So I think for this, we can wrap it up.
Yeah.
I really love the conversation. A lot of energy,
Next
Jeroen.
week again, Willem. Yeah.
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
No, but I really liked it. And what I especially liked is you touch the like, we need to start somewhere with a vision and come from vision to scale and execution. And you really gave us some really good insights and steps, like how you work to get a new idea, then again, globally scaled, in this case with McDonald's. So thank you, Jeroen, for being here.
My pleasure.
And see you next week.
Agreed.
Okay, cool.